Hello, my convicts and convict catchers. So decided to convict, bringing you guys and gals and you, my elites, the new video for today. So today's video is regarding the Nacon Unlimited Revolution Pro controller, or however you want to say it. And yeah, here we are once again going through some different configurations for the controller that you can try out right now on Modern Warfare 2, the new Modern Warfare. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. There is 4 profiles here, but there's 2 in particular I want you to try out today. So I'm throwing these out into the wild to let you try them out, and then let me know what you think, if you like them, if you don't like them, so on and so forth. Please comment in below, and if you want to see further iterations in the future or improvements, then you definitely want to be subscribing, hitting that notification bell and joining on, because this is going to be a project I'm going to expand on and do a lot more often. Because I kind of feel like I'm getting the gist a bit. It's been all these years, and eventually I'm getting to a point where I think I'm kind of getting the gist of how that whole diagram, especially on the Unlimited, how it works. Now, unfortunately, I don't know if I can translate this to such as like Nacon version 1, which I have got, which is the bar graph, because this one obviously is different. I couldn't tell you if it's going to be the same. So I can only kind of hazard a guess to what that would be. So we'll apologize. There's not really a great deal I can do, as obviously we don't get to keep the same bar graph. Anyway, without further ado, let's get straight into it. So there's one here that I really like at the moment, which has been actually working out pretty well. And that is this one, putting both of the points, one at one end, one at the other end, and just having one solid curve. Putting it onto minus and leaving the dead zone at 10, leaving the left stick also what it is at 2, and leaving that minus. I've not touched the left stick, so leave the left stick as it is by default. Just make sure the sensitivity is set to minus, which is probably the only thing you need to change. And dead zone 2 should be automatically what it is. Just then click on the save. Always make sure you click the save button when you make a change. And I often press activate profiles as well, because it makes sure that it definitely sets it to the profile and it says obviously that it's done that. The second one, obviously, this is one you probably have to change a little bit. Change the dead zone to 10. Make sure you turn the dead zone off in game, which I'll show you that in a moment as well, what my settings are. But I want you to test on your own settings, not on my settings. This is the reason for the test. The dead zone, leave it as 10 on the app here, and the sensitivity set to low. Put the left anchor point, as you can see here, down to the bottom left. The other anchor point, put it to the top right. And try that out for me and let me know what you think of that one. That's profile number 1. Okay? Once you've done that, make sure you press the save button and activate profiles button each and every time to make sure that it's actually configured and it is saved. Right, so number 2. Number 2 is FPS. Again, this one, you want to set the left stick to minus on the dead zone 2. Leave it as it is. Right one, you want to kind of go a little bit different. Now, this one, what I've done here is I put the left curve, as you can see, all the way down to the left-hand corner. And I've put it on minus. Again, dead zone of 10. Each one will be minus and dead zone 10, just FYI. The right one, however, I've put to 51% 0.2. So it's 51%. So just after the 50, and it's 0.2. And that's what it should say, 51% 0.2. And that's all you can configure on that one. Okay? Make sure, again, to save it and activate profile. And then it'll prompt. Right, the next one we'll go to is FPS Pro. This one, again, the left stick is the same. Just minus is the only thing you want to change. Right stick. This one, I've put both of the anchors to the bottom left corner. Again, minus, dead zone 10. This will be the same for each one, every one. Okay, so once you've done that, again, make sure you save and obviously click activate all profiles. And then the last but not least is the crazy one. This one I'm still kind of working on, so this may change a little bit next time we do a video. If you click on this one, again, left stick is exactly the same. Just make sure it's in minus. The right stick, however, is a little bit different. As you can see here, the blue line starts off as 0. You can't change that first anchor point. However, I've moved that first anchor point to 10% and it's set to 0.01. So make sure it's at 10%, 0.01. The second anchor point wants to be 40% at 0.4. 0.4 there and at 40%. So it's exactly on where the point is, point to point there. It's not slightly over or anything like that. So 0.4 and 40. And you can see there when you highlight it, it's dead on 40%, 0.4. Make sure it's on minus, and again, minus on the dead zone of 10 as well. Now, why dead zone of 10? Wouldn't that be terrible? It's kind of weird. I don't know why, but the Nacon doesn't seem to do a dead zone exactly the same way as you would do when you're in a game. If you're in a game, it would be completely different. But the app version of the dead zone, I don't know what it does. It's really bizarre because it doesn't do exactly what you expect it to do on a dead zone of 10. You'd expect it to be horrendously bad. And it doesn't actually do that. Because if I go over here and show you the eyeball and go to test area and we look at the controller, if the dead zone was on 10, the first initial push would be a pretty significant push in order to then get a reaction from the controller. If I just slightly touch this, just slightly, you can see it's already moving. Look, slight touch, and it's already moving. That's just a very, very slight touch. So I don't know what the dead zone does, because it doesn't actually affect the joystick itself. It's a very slight touch, look, and it moves instantly. If it was on the dead zone of 10, it would probably be still stuck there, maybe about there, and then it'd start moving. But it doesn't. It just instantly moves straight away. And as you go across, you can see what it's doing to the controller. And there you go. So what I'm trying to do here is just trying to slow down. Now, if you notice here, the small movements seem to be pretty, pretty quick, pretty on point straight away. And then as you get to the second one, it seems a bit slower. It seems a bit more controlled from here to here. It's more refined. It's not as quick as the beginning one. And then obviously move along on there. So I want you to try out these profiles and let me know. And if you find a profile that you enjoy, either tell me the name or just call it profile 1, 2, 3, or 4. And just say, I like profile 1, I like profile 2, I like profile 3, or I like profile 4. And then we'll kind of work on that. So we'll go over now to the game and show you the in-game settings. So I just need to turn this to PC mode. However, like I said, I don't want you to use my settings. I want you to use your own settings, but I'll show you what mine are just so that you can see them. So go here to controller. I want you to try this out on your own setting, but if you want to try these out as well, by all means, you can do that as well. So you can leave this probably about 5 because this is where I've been doing tests. I actually just turned down to a lower speed at the time just to sort of kind of try lower speeds and stuff because I've been doing a lot of testing. So it was set around about 5 or 6. So just leave it wherever you want. Like I said, you choose the sense that you want, and that's absolutely fine. Make sure horizontal and vertical are the same. ADS sensitivity multiplier. Now, I did my first initial testing when it was at 1. So I want you to kind of use your normal value you use. But however, while I was testing, I managed to go down to around about 75, 65, and it seemed to be pretty decent on those as well. But again, test out what you feel is best for you. That's all I need to really show you. All the others are the same. I did leave the aim assist on default. It's on linear because I prefer linear because it doesn't map up down. But I do want you to try out the different curves as well. Also, the dead zones, left and right stick are completely 0 for me. 1-1 for them. And I've put on 0.05. I put on a small dead zone for my triggers because my triggers seem to be activating. You don't need to add a dead zone for your triggers. Leave them at 0. However, if you have the same issue with mine where for some weird reason it starts to randomly aim for you when you're playing, then add a little dead zone until that goes away. But you don't need to copy what I've done there. That's just, these are just what I've put there to stop my aiming and weirdness that's happening with the controller a little bit. And I believe that is all I need to show you. Everything else is just generic standard stuff that you would normally use. Just make sure you use your own sensitivities, your own ADS sensitivity, whatever you want to use, however you do it. Normally, you do what you normally do. And just let me know how it feels for you on each and every one of those profiles. So there you go. I'm going to leave it here. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you want to follow along and you want me to do more controller configs, then let me know in the comments below. Choose yours. So like I said, just call it profile 1, 2, 3, or 4. Let me know which one you like the best, and we'll probably work on that one. Whichever gets like the most upvotes, or gets the most likes, or the most sort of like commented profile, I should say. Let's do that. We'll do it as the most commented profile. So if you're obviously saying anything, just let me know what profile you're talking about. And then obviously we'll work on there from there and have a look and see what we can do. We will be returning tomorrow as well. Don't forget for live stream. So if you want to come along to a live stream, by all means, 10:30 till 2. And we should be back to normal tomorrow because it was teacher's strike today. That's hence why there's no video today, apart from this one. And then obviously Rio has been off school today as well. Anyway, thank you very much. It is I, the Kappa Convict, signing out. As always, I salute you, my convicts, convicts. Don't forget, also, you can join for just $1.99 and become one of my elites. You get access to emotes, badges, all that cool stuff, giveaways, and hopefully help towards charity work in the future. So, thank you. And yeah, bye for now.